Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, first thing in the morning edition. I'm here with Oceans,
Hello,
and I'm, of
and
course, Zenrotto.
I'm here with a very tired Zen.
I'm a little sleepy, but that's okay, because we got
Uh,
some manga good and bad to speak about.
mm-hmm. So what are your top three?
So my top three is going to be number three is kind of all over the place. I'm not sure I have a solid pick for number three, to be completely honest. I guess My Hero, by virtue of just, like, whatever. My number two is Earthchild, and my number one is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, bro, we got that brain link again.
Yeah,
Mine is the same.
excellent.
Although I was very tempted to just exclude My Hero and put it into special Whittle Baby
Special
tier.
little baby tier. Yeah,
Yeah, because dear God, people were annoying about it last week, but we'll get to that.
yeah.
For
It's
now, it's number three.
all right. I'm down with that.
What's first?
Ah, God. So first is Protect Me, Shugomaru. Remember how you suggested that we cancel Vigilantes on the air? I'm making that
Uh,
same suggestion with Shugomaru. This shit is terrible.
okay, we want to drop it.
I'm just immediately suggesting that we drop this. This is absolutely unenjoyable.
Uh, what did it for you? The oh no, I'm in love with a 7-year-old child
That
in an
didn't
adult's
help.
body.
Yeah, it didn't. You know what really did it for me was that this chapter had slash Takizawa in it, and that didn't even make me like chuckle.
Jesus. Okay, yeah, no, then I feel like this is overdue. I did kind of find his appearance funny, but like, yeah, this hasn't been hitting for a while, and this chapter especially felt just bizarre. Like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this anymore.
Right, like
So,
it's bad enough that she was like, "Oh my god, he's hot, and I'm into him now." But then he turns back into a child, and she's like, "I guess I could wait." It's like, are you still in love with this tiny child?
mhm.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
and
None
like
of it
this
was funny.
this whole chapter had like massive you know, oh, women are so fickle, they will hate characteristics about you when you're small and ugly, but they love you when you do the same things but you're tall and handsome. Like this had like 4chan vibes to me.
It's just
Which is
red pill
never good.
vibes.
Yeah. Which is never a good sign. So you know what? I think I'm gonna take you up on that offer. I think we shall
Okay.
banish Shugomaru.
Live, live on the air cancellation of Shugomaru. This shit fucking sucks.
This might be the first one we've done actually.
On the air, I think it is. We've
Yeah.
canceled some series before, but
But
God,
yeah, this shit was not good.
no. Although there was a second slash Takizawa appearance I didn't remember that was a little funny. It was when he peeks into the curtain and then
Oh,
he
that's the
leaves.
only one I noticed.
Oh
What's
no,
the other one?
he's on page 11, guarding the
11.
doorway.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one. I
Yeah.
was so out of it this
No, the
chapter.
one where he opens the curtain though, that's pretty funny. But yeah, no, this should suck. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
Canceled out of 10 on
Canceled out of
SNC.
10.
Yeah.
Never
Um,
again.
Speaking of, are we still doing Super?
Yeah, but it's way up there this time
Oh, okay.
because it came out on the same day, so it's so
Oh,
far up
okay.
the list.
Look forward to it, folks.
Mm-hmm.
What opinions will we have about Super this month? Who can tell?
Dragon Ball Super: The Pee Pants chapter. It's gonna be good for our show.
Oh, yes.
All right. So next is Ayashimon.
It was all right. Like more
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah. I mean, I feel like that's almost the verdict that we reach every time. It's almost like a Mashle-esque weekly review where we're like, oh, they fought more, but it doesn't have Mashle's like inherent charm. So sometimes it's
Hmm.
just like, yeah, they punched.
Yeah, it's just a straight shonen at this point. Did like the like final little clash they have where it looks like he catches himself and then Maru just shows up behind him
And
and
punches the
punches him
shit
into the
out of the
water.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like the little spice that makes fights interesting in shonen.
I
But yeah,
like
this was again.
their little thing where she's feeling his damage.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool. Might actually
Yeah,
make it so he
nice.
can't get like his shit blasted in every single fight from now on. He's actually gotta like learn not to get exploded every single time that he fights.
It's like Mario, you're gonna learn how to dodge and block for
Uh-huh.
once.
Can't just punch wildly anymore.
You can't just tank everything. I know you got plot armor, but please, my poor bones.
Also, the panel where he shows up behind the guy to punch the tower is cool as shit. He looks really cool right
Oh
there.
yeah, like the
For a
white out
character,
eyes.
yeah, for a character who I don't normally think looks that cool, that's a very good panel of him.
Mm. Yeah, he really is living out that like classic manga fantasy, because this is very sort of just typical shonen shit.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
dislike it for that. It's just on a weekly basis, it's difficult to say more than he threw some punches.
Well, yeah, because there isn't all that much happening. Like a lot of this chapter is also like dedicated just to like explaining the fact that him and his lady are connected, and sort of how she's trying to like cover that up and shit. So, and like, oh, he's made out of cloth, so you gotta slow him down with water. It's like, fairly standard like 1-2 punch shonen strategizing, which is fine.
Yeah.
You know, this is like if you were reading, I don't know, fucking um Neji versus Kidomaru weekly in Naruto, right? Like it's fine. It's just fighting.
Yeah, it's just fighting. Yeah. All
Uh
right, just
which
fighting out of 10.
Yeah, fighting out of 10, which I mean, Jutsu Kaisen is kind of the same, admittedly, but Jutsu Kaisen is doing that, on a foundation of almost 200 chapters of hype with characters and powers that are very, very well defined, and so we can always at least scream raw at that, right?
Right.
Whereas
Yeah.
with
With
something
with
like,
this, it's just like you gotta trick him into getting punched in the right spot, which is also fine because that's some of my favorite parts about like JoJo is like you gotta figure his power out and then you gotta punch him in exactly the correct way. But again, Ayashimon doesn't quite have the hype built reputation that has.
yeah, exactly, and I mean, all the fights so far have been fairly simple. Again, it feels very much like just like the main character is like a big fan of manga, like this series is just kind of trying its best to just be a good shonen manga, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. It's
Yep.
fine. It doesn't. It so far has not gotten to JoJo levels, of course, where it's like not just punch him in the right place, but punch him in the right place while making a pretzel shape with your fingers while it is the 7th Tuesday of the year, but only if you're Brazilian. You know,
Man,
we're not
JoJo
quite
fucking
there yet.
slams.
JoJo's so good. I cannot wait for JoJo Lands to come out whenever that
Can't
happens.
wait for literally anything JoJo related to come out.
Yeah, I can't wait for Netflix to stop like holding part
Fucking part
6
six hostage. Yeah.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know if you this is a bit of an aside, but I don't know if you saw that the because it's airing weekly in Japan now, and like the episodes that are airing like weekly are of so much higher quality. It's
Yeah, I
insane.
saw the one post about how like the sound mixing was fucked up on the Netflix version.
Yes, and how like a lot of coloring wasn't finished on the Netflix versions. Like, yeah, Netflix just forced these folks to put out like the beta versions of episodes.
God almighty.
Garbage company.
Desperate to not fucking go under.
I mean, you say that, but then they're like, oh, we will disable password sharing, and we also cost more now, and also half of the good shit we have is gone. Fuck you. Would you like to pay double the price without the ability to share so you can watch Tall Girl and Tall Girl 2?
Yeah, I feel like Netflix has been like on the cusp for a while now. That's the one where everyone's like, if streaming services start dying out, that's the first one that's gonna go. So we'll
Well,
see.
make kind of fits considering it was one of the first ones to like really establish itself, right?
It like was the first one,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, well, let's just make streaming into cable version too. And
Yeah,
so,
let's just make it suck for everyone.
let's make it god
Let's
awful.
let's combat piracy by making piracy the only reasonable choice.
Yeah, let's fight piracy by making piracy way more appealing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll just torrent this movie and then mail the actors money. That works better than fucking God. Okay, this is another tangent, but oh my God, whoever came up with the idea on Netflix that the search bar suggests you movies they don't have, that person deserves to get fucking shot.
Yes, that shit's so annoying because it will fill in the title of a movie, and then you'll click it, and it's like, yeah, Netflix doesn't have that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we don't have the movie you wanted to watch, but we have our own cheap knockoff versions made very cheaply. Uh, that are terrible and have like 1-star reviews. Would you watch that instead of Star Wars? It's like, fuck off. Like, why is good fucking UI and UX design so difficult for these streaming services? It's
Do you
incredible.
think that they did it and then they were like, oh yeah, this is good? Because then people who are going to want to see this will click one of our shit film. Like, I wonder if that's ever worked. I wonder if
Well,
anyone's Googled a movie and then been like,
it's probably it is that, because just by putting eyeballs on certain series that are even tangentially related, you statistically are heightening the chance of someone clicking on it. But it's a very sort of we looked at the stats kind of decision. It has nothing to do with like actually giving customers a good choice. Like, the only person who's gonna search Star Wars on Netflix, not find it, and then instead watch Stellular Battle, Netflix original, are people who don't know how to pirate shit. Which, I mean, I suppose is fair that that's the people they target, but still,
it's old
I
people.
mean,
Yeah.
old people. Well, to be fair, old people only have Netflix because their grandchildren set it up for them.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. My mom keeps asking me when the final season of Better Call Saul is coming out. And I told her, like, it's gonna be later this year, and she's like, "Why?" Like, what do you mean? What am I supposed to do?
Why can't you speed it up?
Yeah, Mr. YouTube man, do it. Oh, did I tell you my dad called me and demanded I sell the ocean cut to Masashi Kishimoto?
You did tell me that, which is hilarious.
It was like, just sell it to the guy who made Naruto. He'll pay. I'm like, no, he'll throw me in
Yeah,
jail.
you will go to prison, my friend.
Yeah, Studio Piero will send assassins to my house if I do that.
Just sell it to him.
Bless his heart. Um, but okay, that's enough tangents. What's next after Ayashimon?
Up next after Ayashimon is Blue Box.
Isn't it fun being a teenager?
Yeah, this one was not good. The scene where she sends him the little penguin, that hurt me
Mm-hmm.
inside.
Yeah, it's like she wants to rely on him, but also like she's clearly very deeply conflicted about what she saw. This is whatever happens now in the train is probably gonna be like peak pain,
I can't
just
tell.
the
Like,
worst.
is it gonna be us in misery, or is it gonna be like, gotcha, fake out? She just like is sad and they hug.
Yeah, she actually no, she like the fake out is gonna be she has no opinion whatsoever on the fact that she witnessed the love confession. She's like, oh yeah, I saw that. That was kind of odd.
Wasn't that weird? Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of sad. I stubbed my toe in training. It hurts.
I didn't land the shot, and that sucks. But
Yeah.
no.
Plot twist. This is actually a romance between Taiki and Hina, and Chinatsu is just gonna like her entire character is gonna flatten out now. Like, she has just like no opinions on
She does
anything anymore.
nothing.
Yeah. She shows up every time something bad happens to like miss a shot for the symbolism.
She,
Uh, like, anything bad happens, it just cuts to her missing a shot, and she going, "Oh, I wonder if that means anything." 50 billion volumes sold, peak symbolism. But honestly, Hina is really climbing the ranks for me. Just the entire way she's handling this,
yeah, I
I
kind of really
respect that
like
so
her.
much. Yeah,
I'm
she
torn because again, I feel like I shouldn't be picking sides in this love triangle. But every week I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
yeah, like, I liked the way Taiki says it to her. He's like, this is what I feel and this is what I'm gonna do. Is that okay with you? Like I like the way that is constructed, and I extra like the way she just sort of accepts it. She's like, hey, my condition for telling you was that it's just to be honest, and so you doing the same to me doesn't like offend me or anything. So yeah, go for it, Tiger. Um, yeah, no, it's that's the problem, right? Like it's not toxic, so you can't just fling shit at anyone.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like
know.
actually functional in a way.
It's just weird because I feel like if I was one of Hina's friends in this
Mm-hmm.
situation, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I told this big dumb idiot that I love him," and his response to me was, "Well, I'm gonna try to get this girl, and then if I can't, maybe we'll talk later." I would not be happy about that.
Fair enough, but I mean, the way Hina sort of carries herself about that, she very much it. I don't think she even really expects anything realistic to come out of it. It really seems like she just wants to be honest about her feelings and move on, like one way or another. Um, So I don't know. Taiki is definitely the one here that comes out looking the most teenagery, I guess, right? Where it's like, I don't know
Yeah.
what to do.
I don't know what to do,
I'll
so I'm
just,
gonna pick this girl, and then if I don't get this girl, I'll go after this girl. Yeah.
God, you know, there's gonna be like a big face, like double spread panel of one of the girls crying and saying something like, "Why was I second choice?" And it's gonna absolutely obliterate my heart.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, that shit's coming. That shit's absolutely coming. Um,
Oh. Does it have to?
we signed up for it.
Oh
We
man.
already have we already have our one cancellation per week in Shugomaru. We cannot also
Can't
cancel Blue Box.
can't cancel Blue Box and get away.
Yeah, we can't just pretend it ends here with them just going on a train far away.
They just elope right here, never come back.
Yeah, it's the like Hunter x Hunter anime esque ending. Like, oh, who knows what our adventures take them next? Who can really say?
Nobody really knows. Nobody knows the truth.
Except Togashi, but he isn't talking. He's gaming.
Yeah, Togashi's Dragon Questing right now.
Oh, dude, I can't wait for Hunter x Hunter to come back like later this year for 2 chapters and then disappear in tandem with the release of Dragon Quest 12. Like that'll be so funny.
Yeah, well, hey, the man knows what he likes. And he likes,
Yeah.
one, playing Dragon Quest, and two, having a functional back muscles. So I can't hate on him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both of those go crazy, especially Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest kind of rocks.
Yeah, Dragon
I
Quest does
say.
slam.
I say having played only 11, but hey,
I mean, it's a
that's the
Square
one.
Enix RPG. They're all pretty good. It's hard to hate
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've heard some pretty harsh opinions on some of the Final Fantasies.
People overreact. There's like there's like one really irredeemable Final Fantasy game, and it's the second one ever made. So it's like, okay,
Oh, Final Fantasy 2?
yeah, that game fucking blows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, that's not the first time I'm hearing this. I remember I was watching like a technical review of like the Pixel remasters, and it was all like very sort of neutral. And at the end, he goes, "Yeah, so this is a great port. Too bad this game fucking sucks," and the
Yeah,
video just
I
ends.
mean that's Final Fantasy 2 for you. Like it's just you can't make it good. No matter what you do, you can't make it good. All the other ones,
Well,
like you can just be like, I have this little complaint about it here, and I think this could be different. Like I think Final Fantasy 8 sucks because the gameplay system is atrocious. But if you just take
mm-hmm,
out the way that they level up in that game and just make it normal, it would be fine.
mm-hmm.
Um, Final Fantasy 2 is like irredeemable.
Okay.
Shit's just there's nothing to be done.
Well, Square Enix seems to be very happy to revisit those older titles, considering Stranger of Paradise, and it's a interesting addition to the Final Fantasy series.
Yeah, well, you mean how it's a prequel to Final Fantasy 1?
Prequel, remake, isekai, yeah,
It's not an
kind of.
isekai. It's straight up a prequel.
Oh, is it straight up a prequel?
100% straight up a prequel.
Oh damn.
I don't want to spoil the game on the air for people who haven't played it, but yeah, they the interviews for that game are so fucking funny because the director's like, yeah, it's not an isekai. I see why people might think that because he literally just dresses like a dude, but no, it's just that's just a creative choice. And it's like okay, and then he's like, yeah, everyone says that our main character is like really funny, and I don't know why because he was supposed to be cool, and I'm like, oh, you old Japanese man.
Yeah.
You made like
It's
the edgiest white boy possible, and you thought people were gonna find him cool instead of unintentionally funny.
that honestly, I am so glad that this generation of like gamers has their own Metal Gear Solid Rising or Metal Gear Rising because it really feels like that from what I've seen.
It's so fucking funny. The whole game is like oh my god. Every single line of dialogue out of that dude's mouth has me fucking rolling. And I just know that when they were making this, these old Japanese men were like, "Yes, this is the one.
This is
This
cool.
this is the badassery we've been going for." And then he talks and he's just like cussing constantly and it's like so fucking funny.
All I've seen is the one where they meet the dark elf who's like having his monologue, and it just cuts to him going for a jumping punch, going, "I don't give a fuck who you
Well, no,
are."
that's actually two different scenes.
What,
So
really?
that's him fighting one of the four fiends, Lich, and the guy's giving
Okay.
a doom speech, and he's like, "I am the death. I am," and then that's when he jumps. He says, "I don't give a fuck who you are," and punches him.
Oh no, you're right. The dark elf is when he's like, "I don't care what you have to say. Just
Yeah.
tell me about chaos." Right?
So that
Okay.
happens almost every time a character tries to give a lore dump. To the point that me and my fiance have a joke that this game does not have a story. Because every time someone tries to give exposition, he's like, "Shut the fuck up," and like walks away.
But that's
There's
so
one
good
point.
though.
There's one point where you beat this girl, and she's like, "Oh, I might be the fourth warrior of light to join your party. So let's work together. Here's my tragic past." And she's like right in the middle of talking about it, and he just goes, "Bullshit," and he puts his AirPods in, and he starts playing like Limp Bizkit new metal, and he just walks away.
He really is like the fucking Chad meme.
And then the best part is the scene fades to black, and then it comes back up outside of the castle that they were fighting her in, and he's still playing the music. So it implies that the entire way out of that castle, he walked in silence with the rest of his group behind him, listening to this fucking music.
Uh, you see, this is one of the two ways you should do stories in video games. Either you do it like FromSoft, where it's like, oh, you fight a guy called Granulus the Gravedigger, and his hat has like a tragic backstory that you can only find if you go out of your way to read it. Or you do it like this, where the story is basically just complete fucking nonsense.
It
Like if I
literally
want
is just like what's happening, and every time a character tries to tell you, he's like, "Shut the fuck up." It's so
Oh my
fucking
god.
funny.
No, I'm so happy a game like this exists again because I remember this feels very reminiscent to when Metal Gear Rising came out and like the first clips started showing up online and people were like in disbelief over what this game was. Like the fucking Armstrong boss fight. I remember when that like hit like social media. It was inescapable because it's just so fucking stupid. This is this fucking US senator beating you on top of a giant robot while talking about like fucking football.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
very much this game. Also, like he has all these super edgy kill animations because you
Mm-hmm.
can like execute characters or enemies when you like do enough damage to them, and they're
Mm-hmm.
all so fucking edgy and over the top. And he's always like, "Yeah, yeah, die!" like right in the middle of them.
Yeah,
I read this.
I kind of wonder how much of that also has to do just with the localization, right? Because even if like the old Japanese men were not super aware of just how dumb it was, I'm sure the localization team at least had like an inkling of, oh god, we have gold on our hands, and sort of went into it.
Yeah, because some of this has to be by design because it's too like tongue in cheek sometimes.
Well, again, just him jumping a guy like during his monologue saying, "I don't give a fuck who you are." Like that hard cut. That has to be intentional. Like that's unreal. I thought it was like one of those like meme videos people edited.
No, that's just what happens.
Oh, we are blessed.
The best part
Speaking
too
of,
is that they sit on fuck like for emphasis all the time. Like it's still a taboo word that people don't say anymore instead of like casual.
well, okay. I mean, what? How further should they go? Do you want the next Final Fantasy protagonist to be like a vile racist? It's just spewing slurs.
I just mean that like maybe don't rely on cursing to make your character seem cool.
Okay, fair enough.
Like he's having his big breakdown, like freak out moment, and he's like all pissed off and he's yelling in this crazy voice. And I swear to God, it pauses on the word "fuck" when he says, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" It like sits on it for a second.
Like it has like a screen shake when you hit an enemy, but whenever he says fuck.
Oh, it's so edgy. It's so funny.
If they make a sequel, they should make it so that the protagonist is the same, except he vehemently tries not to swear. So he's like, "Ah, frick! Ah, gosh, darn!"
Oh,
That's
fudge.
yeah, that's honestly almost funnier than swearing. When people are like so like into being PG about everything, even though they very clearly don't want to.
Yeah, could they have the replacement words? That's like, yeah. Oh God, where even were we on this episode?
Blue box.
Oh, we just finished Blue Box. Okay.
Yes.
Agony out of 10.
Agony. Final Fantasy out of 10.
Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise. Good game out of 10.
Yes.
Next up is the Elusive Samurai.
This was cool.
It was cool. I like this. I like this little guy like teaching him things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like also sort of the lesson he actually teaches him was pretty cool. Where like don't you have to think outside of the box because otherwise only like traditionally strong people can win. I thought that was actually a really clever way to sort of, you know, I guess not level up our main character, but give him something new to think about. That's really cool.
Well, right, because people up to now have been kind of pushing him to be like, yeah, you can still do this, but you got to learn how to fight. You got to learn how to do this. And this guy's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but if you try to just fight me, I'm like 3 times bigger than you. I'll just kill you. You got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it in a way that will actually work. I will say their little moment at the end. This is a shitty plan.
But were they gonna kill him?
They're gonna try to assassinate the guy. The what's his name?
The main guy, right?
The main bad guy.
Takauji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any piece of fiction where they try to assassinate the big bad before like the final confrontation always goes badly.
Yeah. Like I have no clue how to, because that's the thing. It's hard to gauge if this maybe is the final confrontation. Because I mean, I don't know what else would be. Do we think we're gonna get like a full arc of them storming the Capitol?
I mean, it just feels like this would be an awfully abrupt conclusion.
I mean, fair enough, but
Him learning how to like be better at what he does, and then being like, oh, also we're gonna kill the guy like right now.
mhm.
It feels a little quick.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Um, Also, so can we agree that from now on, our main character, instead of using swords, he's gonna like adapt the Looney Tunes strategy of fighting, where he just like pulls pans out of his ass and just beats people with it?
Will that make him also able to beat Deku just like the Roadrunner can?
Yes. Well, canonically, anyone can beat Deku. Anyone who operates on cartoon logic can beat Deku. I mean, okay. Anyone who works on cartoon logic can beat canon Deku. Movie Deku is a different story altogether. Because
Okay.
have you seen the fucking clip of how he beats the bad guy in the new movie?
No. Oh my god.
He starts like shadow boxing by himself, which eventually turns into like a giant barrage of lasers coming out of his fists that
Nice.
like fills an entire room. Like my
Okay.
man,
When
my
can you do
man
that?
was because he's just so strong. Shut up, right? Like,
Shut the fuck up. Let him do his thing.
yeah, that's the last quirk he needs to unlock. Laser boxing. But yeah, that clip is actually crazy cool. As always, just begs the question: hey, if the movies are all canon, why is Shigaraki a problem?
Yeah. Well, you know.
Well, that's a discussion for another segment, right?
Oh God.
Um,
I'm dreading that
but
segment more and more every week.
as I said, eventually we just need to relegate. We just need to quarantine My Hero into like special will baby tier because
Special
I
Uwu
like
Child's here.
yeah because I've been online talking about manga for a very long time, pretty much ever since Naruto was still running. And I can tell you, no series has been so fucking annoying to talk about than MHA. Like, it's actually unreal. I didn't think it was possible, but somehow people have managed to create an ecosystem more toxic than Naruto right after it ended. We did it. I don't know how, but we fucking did it. Ugh. That's why My Hero needs occasionally to just get sidelined and quarantined so that people can just sort of foam at the mouth in peace while we talk about something else.
It's fair. And
Yeah.
just foam over in the fucking corner.
Yeah, just like make up something new to be mad about that like doesn't matter.
I feel like viewers might be able to tell that we're waiting to talk about that when we get
Oh
to the My
yes.
Hero section.
Oh yes.
So Elusive Samurai, bad idea out of 10.
Yes, don't kill the guy, but also please learn Looney Tunes magic out
Yes.
of 10.
So next up is going to be Mashle.
Yeah, so we're really just straight up like extending this shit.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to get to the end, and then where it would have logically ended, he's going to be like, okay, the next adventure now begins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they literally said, Mash's final battle is coming. And so, like,
Mhm.
I feel like they told him to extend it, and he's like, well, fuck. And he just went through, like, what he's already got. And he's going to go through the actual, what was planned to be the conclusion of the series, and then there's just going to be more afterward.
Yeah. Well, I do think he's doing it fairly intelligently, where he's like, oh, yeah, I offhandedly mentioned that the bad guy had other attempted children besides Mash and Domina. Bet that's the plot now. Which, I mean, fair enough,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, he's going
Like,
to have to fight each child, I suppose.
yeah. It's like you can do that. Um, but yeah, this was also kind of a pretty cool, heartfelt moment there at the end. Um, I almost expected him to like the Terminator thumbs up as he's sinking into the lava.
I expected there to be some sort of, like, Mash saved him with silliness, but no, he actually did die.
Yeah.
Which felt, it was very somber for Mashal. As far as, like, Mashal goes, that was not what I was
Yes.
expecting, but...
Well, it is preceded immediately by Mash not being able to move and going, well, I guess that means it's dark magma time.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta accept your fate.
I can't believe he looked at the dark abyssal magma of the deep, looked at it and said, well, it really do be like that
It really do be
sometimes.
like that. I also like how he just kept repeating, like, man, you guys are mean.
Yeah,
Like
you're
4 times.
terrible.
What horrible guys.
What horror? Yeah, like they're really playing up the villain angle.
Uh-huh.
Or like magma like drops next to him and almost kills him. And he's like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, he tries to move, it's just nope.
Yeah, like, "Oops, I guess we're dying." Ooh, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Mashal evolves from this onwards. Because at least for now, it seems like the potentially forced upon extension of the series is not like robbing the author of any of his like his charm. This seems to still be sort of very powerful mash stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess we'll see how long that can last.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Yeah,
But
we'll
Mashal's
we'll find
good,
out out of 10.
surprisingly wholesome out of 10.
Yes. What's next?
Next up is Witch Watch.
I thought this was gonna be another one of those chapters that I just like glaze over, but then it got kind of cute at the end.
Yeah, the little smooch. I'm all about that. I'm here for that.
Yeah, the plot where everyone falls in love with her is kind of, I mean, it's a little cliche, but I'm all right with it because at the end we get the little panel of Moy not being able to sleep and be like, "Huh, am I not looking after myself enough?"
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he's like just smitten.
Yeah, he's just in love with her. I did
Yeah.
think it was pretty funny when they were in love with sweet and sour, like the concept of sweet and sour pork. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yes. When she's talking to him as if she's dumping him for
Yeah,
sweet and sour pork.
because she's in love with sweet and sour pork,
My feelings for Porky.
and she bought it a present.
Also, that panel of Nico on page 12, that's, can we agree that's the horniest this author has ever been?
Yes, probably. She does
Like,
not look like that.
no, that's a Boichi pose.
Yes, that's like a
That's
Makima panel. Like her ass has never looked like that.
the warping of reality for the sake of drawing ass. I guess I respect it.
Maybe that's supposed to be like what she looks like from their point of view now
Yeah,
that they're
yeah. I
in love
mean,
with her.
I'm assuming that that's what it is, since we have Kanji going, "You're kind of nice," which I like that the like love that this powder produces is like completely vapid and pointless. It's
Also,
just like a
damn, poor rip Tengu boy, because she says ew when he
oh,
rip our Tengu son.
that reminds me of like that tweet where it's like, uh, you told me that the worst she can do is reject me, folks. She had a panic attack.
Yeah,
Like that's that level of like, ugh.
vile.
You just read that and you're like, you feel for them. You feel your skin itch. But yeah, I hope Witchwatch can like, if they want to focus more on their like little lovey-dovey shit, I wouldn't mind it because, dear God, this has been a breath of fresh air from the mid it's been for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, I actually really enjoyed it this week, which thank God because it was running out of patience for me quickly.
Mm-hmm. Will say I also really appreciate how nonchalant Moy is about to kiss. She's like, a man has to touch his lips on the witch's skin. He's like, okay. Just goes for it.
Yeah, that whole little panel of her like being all about it, and then him just being like, "Yeah, what about it? Fucking."
Yeah. Like we did it when we were kids. Like, why is this so special now?
I like how
But yeah.
everyone understands like the gravity of it except for him, and then he's in the
Mhm.
bed like, "Ah, man, I'm not getting enough sleep."
Yeah, what is this? Why can't I sleep?
I
So
love
weird.
oblivious like love interest characters and shit like this.
You love oblivious strong men?
Yeah, that's my thing.
Oh, I see. That's why I'm the co-host here, huh?
Chosen carefully.
Yes, I am. I'm kind of strong. I do work out, and I am oblivious and ignorant to most things I should know. So I guess I do fit.
All right.
Okay, what's
Next up
next?
is Akane-Banashi.
Oh, this was pretty cool. Like the mentor character, it was a nice sort of back and forth between him being likable and him being insane.
Yeah, with him being
Um,
like over the top, and I kind of liked her basically trying to blow him off and then be like, "Well, this guy said this and I like his answer better. So I'm just going to do that." And then it turns out that like you can't just do whatever the fuck you want and
yeah,
have it work out for you.
yeah, and I also like sort of the angle we get about how you have talent, but you need to be able to like show it off in the best light according to the audience. You can't just always do the same thing.
Mhm.
Like that was also a nice thing. At times this chapter did kind of feel like, oh yeah, if you just get like exploited for menial work as an intern, that's like totally fine. Don't worry about it. That
Yeah,
was that
well,
was weird, but I mean, it do be like that.
yeah, I mean, still written by fucking a guy who probably got exploited for menial work as an intern in his life at least once.
Oh, that is also true.
So, it do
That
be
is
what it do.
also it dooby dooby doo. But yeah, and now she's gonna be a waitress, I guess.
Like a
To
hostess or
like
something, yeah.
yeah, to like learn how to serve people properly. Which oh boy. I'm interested to see how this manga handles that. Because there's a lot of potential for gross manga bullshit there.
Yeah, that is kind of the alarming bit, is that there's a lot of like what that could come out of this, but
Hmm.
I have faith that it won't be that bad.
Yeah,
I don't know why I
like
have faith that it won't be that, because I probably shouldn't, but I do.
yeah. I mean, so
That's all
far
I've
this
got.
manga has done fairly well, and Akane seems like not doesn't seem like the kind of character who would be subject to that.
Yeah, who would like deal with that shit?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this was all right. This was pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I can't think of anything else to say about it. I also liked that the one thing I liked was they avoided the whole like, "Oh my god, I bombed," where they were like, "Actually, you did all right." Like
Hmm. Yeah.
they were pleasantly surprised, but like if you want to be cut above everybody else, you need to go the extra mile. I thought that was it avoided the stereotype I was expecting, which was, "Uh-oh, I did my second performance and it was a total flop and a failure and
Yeah.
everyone's ruined my reputation or whatever." And it's like, no, it's just you're trying to be greater, so you need to act like it,
Hmm.
which I thought
Yeah.
was
No,
nice.
I appreciated that too. That was pretty good. But what's next then?
Next is Undead Unluck.
Which was as always raw as hell.
Very raw, otherwise nothing really happening. I like we finally found out why the girl is here, and that is to get eaten by this thing to make Andy
Yes.
mad. That's
Yes.
her sole existence, was to die right here to give Andy a rage moment.
Her reason to exist was, as I predicted last week, to keep up the premise of Andy continuously having to take care of some little girl.
To prevent some otherwise helpless little girl from dying.
Hmm. But honestly, besides that, this was a pretty cool chapter. Like the fight was just the right amount of over the top.
Yeah, see, the thing with that I have issue with Undead Unlock a lot of the time is that it feels like Andy's powers just come out of fucking nowhere. I'm like, what?
Hmm.
Like what? How you make it an like automaton warrior out of your blood? Like how do you keep your liquid blood coagulated into the shape of an automaton fighter that can fight for you? Like what? Since like when? So a lot of Undead Unluck's fights for me are invincible man who cannot die with a power set I cannot explain that he can just do whatever he wants with is in fights. So the more that an
Yeah.
Undead Unluck fight drags on when it's about Andy, I'm like, I don't fucking care. He can't die. Everything he does is like unexplainable from
Hmm.
so it's like I don't know. I can't like I don't know. I can't sit
Yeah.
here.
I
I
mean,
can't feel any tension because I'm like, oh, how's he going to deal with this? Because how is he going to deal with it? He's going to deal with it with some bullshit ability that we haven't seen yet. Then he's like, aha.
okay, but all those bullshit abilities are always really fucking cool.
I mean, yeah, which is fine. It's just like from a tension standpoint, I have none because they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
aha, I'm sealed. I'm how we deal with undead, and I'm like, all right, but Fuko's already dead, so the protagonist can't lose here. So I have
Hmm.
no tension from that aspect, and I can't sit here and be like, how's he gonna get out of this? Because I don't know. Because he just does whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, but honestly, I think his fights are less about tension and more about spectacle anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that seems like it's the way that they go with him is they're just like, look how fucking wild this is.
yeah, and I think the tension being gone is just kind of a side effect of Foucault being gone. And I'm assuming that is also why we get the little girl at the end getting eaten by Seal. Um, but yeah, of course, with her, we just don't care about her anywhere near as much as with Foucault.
Well, yeah, because I don't even know if she has a name.
I don't know her name either.
Did he say her name in this chapter? I feel like he did. Lou.
Uh,
So Lu.
Lou.
Lou. Well, she's dead now, so I don't have to remember her name anymore.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she. Yeah. Nothing more to say. Undead Unluck was raw as hell, but not much else, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Not much else to it. Uh, but hopefully the next week when he goes Super Saiyan or whatever he's about to do is be pretty cool.
Blood Saiyan.
Don't give Toyotaro any ideas.
Oh, dude. Speaking of Toyotaro.
Speaking of, that's where we are right now, baby. Dragon Ball Super, the Pee Pants
Uh-huh.
episode.
Honestly, the fucking piss joke was actually kind of funny.
It
It felt very Toriyama.
it did, and it was funny to me. Like the actual content of like, haha, you pissed yourself was like not funny, but what was funny to me was how long they lingered on it. Like he they could have easily just been like, haha, he wet himself, and be like, nuh-uh. But I think he says the word urine like 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
which is like,
I said there was no urination involved. Well, I think it's also the fact that it's not just someone saying how you peed yourself. It's like a whole gaggle of people ganging up on one guy saying,
yeah.
hey, remember the time you totally pissed yourself?
And the best part is that's the strongest guy in the universe. They're saying that too.
Yeah. And then it ends with Goku just going, oh shit, you actually did pee yourself, huh? Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I did like Goku's way of delaying gas was to like gradually lure him away and then immediately port like 30 times in succession
Yeah,
too
too
far
far
away
that
for
he
him.
can follow. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. That was actually like the thing with Super is that anytime it does something that doesn't have a direct parallel in DBZ, it's immediately cool. Just because it's something semi new,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um it's also kind of similar now with them like looking into Bardock's Scouter and like the memories. Uh like I feel like and obviously on a timer as Gas like rushes back. It's cool. It's something we haven't like it's not a one-to-one rethread of something we've already seen, and just because of that, it demands my attention a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, I can sign off on that because, like, that's the biggest issue with kind of keeping up with Super is that every time you try to watch something or do something with Super, it has to slip back into that familiarity. You know,
Mhm.
it's too afraid to like do something different because
Mhm.
Dragon Ball's so old, and people who like Dragon Ball like it for specific reasons already. So they're like, we can't,
Mhm.
that's why Vegeta can't ever stop being anything more than like a gruff asshole most of the time. Because like that's what
Mhm.
people like about Vegeta. So like,
Mhm.
other than his comic relief moments with his family, like when he's around Goku, he still has to be like, I'm not fusing with you. Fuck you. We've been friends for
Mhm.
45 years, but I'm still an asshole. It's like,
Mhm.
because if he's not an asshole, what is he now? He's a different character to the people who like
Yeah.
him being an asshole.
Yeah, true.
And it's the same
Um
like Goku can't ever stop being like, I mean, I guess with Goku he's always been kind of a dumbass, but like he's always got to be like an over the top idiot 90% of the time, even though I think Super kind of flanderizes that a little bit, but that's a
mhm.
discussion for I don't care enough about it to get into a long debate about if Goku's
Well,
character
that's
is
the
being
other
respected.
thing. Well, that's the other thing with Dragon Ball. You can never say anything about it because you immediately have like 7 essays in your mentions.
Yeah, and it's like I don't give a shit about it enough to have that fight because like it's just Dragon Ball. But
Yeah.
this chapter actually was interesting because it
Mhm.
let a character and Goku of all people do something fun and creative instead of just like pushing harder. You know,
Yeah,
like I compare this to that fight. I don't know if you watched the Super anime or not. Did you?
I did.
So remember when Goku's fighting merged Zamasu,
Uh-huh.
and his solution to the problem is just to Kamehameha so much harder that it like breaks his own arms. I was
Mhm.
like, this is
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous. Why is that? Like, come on. And then they just fuse. It was nice that
Uh-huh.
Goku had like a strategy that he created and then executed, and it worked. And it
Mhm.
wasn't just like, aha, I have gotten the power mode that is superior to your power mode.
Mhm.
It's nice when there's actually some thought in a Dragon Ball battle. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. The thing with Super is that it's very often felt like it was on autopilot. So any chapter that doesn't feel like that immediately is more interesting.
Hmm. I also like his
Because
idea of like taking him to Whis because he can't fuck anything up around Whis because Whis will bust his ass if he tries to.
true,
So he
true,
just
true.
has to be like, ah, fuck, I just gotta go.
hmm Also, and this is my hottest take possible, I don't mind seeing more of Bardock.
I don't mind Bardock in general. I think Super's version of Bardock is not as interesting as the old one. But it kind of seems like this interpretation of him is a lot closer to the old one than
hmm
like the
Minus.
where he was like, dang, I'm a family man, sort of, but I'm gruff about it. I'm kind of
hmm
Vegeta-y. In this one, like you actually get to see him fight, and he's actually like a good fighter, and he's fine. I don't know what the purpose of seeing this is, because I don't know what possible relevant information they could get out of Bardock, like punching a small child version of the fully adult man that they're fighting right now. I have no idea. Unless it's gonna be
Turns
like, I
out,
figured out your genetic weakness and it's pissing yourself or something. And so he's gonna pee himself again and then they're gonna leave. Um,
turns out, Gas is actually Goku's biological mother.
the only complaint that I have about it overall is this weird notion that Goku like doesn't know who he truly is. It's like he's like 50.
Yes, but also, like, I get why people don't like that because it is kind of nonsensical, but at the same time, when you're trying to write anything about Goku, you have to bullshit it because there's just Dragon Ball is so long and there are so many like hour-long videos and dissertations written about why Goku is actually, the most complex character ever. That as an author, if I was told, "Hey, make an interesting story with Goku," I would just invent shit as
Yeah, I
well.
mean,
I
up
would
to a
just like
certain point, I
go
guess
for
you
it.
just sort of have to, because the issue with Dragon Ball in general is that because like 90% of the time there's no differentiation in a character's skill set. Like, oh, Gas can make shit, but that's completely irrelevant now, and they've just evolved back to blasting each other. Like,
hmm
that's just what Dragon Ball fights are. It's just like people blast each other, and whoever has the bigger blasty dick, it, like wins at the end of the day. And so you
hmm
have to like, oh, Goku's next form that gives him even more blastiness is the one that's going to win. And for some reason, they don't. I guess they don't want to go past Ultra Instinct, even though Ultra Instinct is like the ninth one. So who even cares anymore if you do or not?
hmm
Because he can't ever seem to get it down. So they have to invent some other bullshit reason for him to like get stronger without perfecting Ultra Instinct.
Well,
Because
yeah,
then
he
they have
has
to
to
make
make.
Ultra Instinct fallible. I guess that's what they're worried about. Is that like if he can do it whenever, they have to make people that can beat it.
hmm
So
Well, I guess that's also kind of the problem because no matter how much you're writing or how long a story is, like Oda writing One Piece, sure, he has to like future proof some of his power ups and ideas, but he knows that this series, that One Piece is going to end eventually. With Dragon Ball, I can fully imagine that Toyotaro has to take into consideration that this shit is going to go on well beyond him as an author,
oh
that they're
yeah.
just gonna keep dragging it. And so you cannot ever write anything that is a definitive solution because if you do, someone has to come up with a way in which it isn't definitive,
Mhm.
right? Like so that's why, yeah, they probably just need to make Ultra Instinct fallible. Although I do like the aspect of you have to make it your own. You have to like make a unique version of your Ultra Instinct. Um, but I don't have confidence in that unique version is gonna be anything other than bigger blasts.
It's just I feel like his unique version or whatever is it's just gonna be the silver hair that we already saw, and then he's gonna be like, I'm powered by my mom. I don't know. I don't
My
care.
mom, who is gas, come here, kiss me.
But anyway, Dragon Ball, you do okay when you try things. Out of 10.
Yes, please try more often out of 10.
All right, let's see who's next
Are
on
we
the
in the top
list.
three
Are we?
now?
I think we might be in the top 3 now.
Excellent.
Yes, we are. So first up is gonna be My Hero.
Um, the phrase that Froppy says, like, Deku, this is no time for you to be caught up in romance subplots. I'm like, Hori, really?
Really? Then perhaps you shouldn't have put it in right here.
Yeah.
Because I can't
Um,
stress enough how much I don't give a shit about anything that really happened this chapter. It was pretty cool how he illustrated that Danger Sense is working again because she
Mhm.
doesn't love him anymore. I was like, okay, that was neat. Um, I also thought it was really funny that Uraraka got stabbed in the shoulder. I thought that was pretty
Mhm.
funny. I don't know why
Shanked.
they keep pretending like Toga can physically keep up with Deku in any way. I don't know why they keep doing that.
Mhm.
Um, she like rushes him and she like gets behind him, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This dude ran faster than a sniper bullet at point blank range and got the guy out of the way. She is not
Mhm.
competing with that. If she's getting caught off guard by Froppy, how is she catching up with Deku? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, in general it's a little unfortunate because of how long this bit has been drawn out. Toga as a character really suffers because back when she just talked with Uraraka during the war, it was like, "Oh, I will never be accepted and no one will ever be able to like see me for who I am. I will always be an outcast." And it was like, "Oh." But now this chapter is like it strains my sympathy for her because her idea of being accepted is letting her just kill people.
Yeah, it's just letting her do whatever she wants, really.
Yeah, and it's
Which,
like it's weird because it's clear that we're supposed to feel sympathetic towards her, but at some point it's like, no, uh, I get you've been sort of treated badly, but also we cannot create a society in which we can accommodate people just randomly killing people
yeah,
because they love them. Like
it came
that's
off
kind
from
of
like
not
a
how that works.
legitimate emotional like distress of hers, where like she felt unseen and unheard, to like,
Mhm.
oh, I still feel that way, even though, because Deku's answer was not that damning. It
Mhm.
was really just like, I kind of understand you, but also like you're going way too far with it. And
Yeah,
then she's like,
exactly.
"Oh, you don't think I'm a real human? I'm gonna kill everyone." I'm like, "All right, I
Yeah.
can't really give a shit anymore about this."
Yeah, although I will say one thing I do like about this is that it's very apparent she's essentially trying to replace Twice. Because Twice was that kind of guy who she would just say the most unhinged shit imaginable and he would just be like, "Yeah, no problem, babe," and then like do a funny poop joke. Uh, like I do like it in the sense that, and maybe that's an indication that this is intentional, that we're supposed to like slowly lose sympathy for her and realize that she is just that it is another fault of society that she's been allowed to fall so low. But at the same time, as you said, Deku's answer is nowhere near as bad or like as damning as she makes it out to be, and that makes her just seem very odd, like just very just more insane than I think Hori wants her to seem. um
I don't know, cause like, I mean, they gave her like the shaky text, like the "I'm
mhm
crazy now" text.
mhm
Uh, but I don't know, like, she went from the one emotional like anchor in the League of Villains to like, what the fuck am I supposed to get out of her existence? So,
yeah,
I got nothing for. I can't really care that much about her. Like,
yeah, and also I can't believe we're in the final arc. This is an issue in which Deku and Araka had like a couples cover, and we're still doing the confession interrupted by random event trope. Like
yeah, I mean, I
when
kind of
Toga's like,
like the little look that she gave him, because you could tell he didn't want to leave because she got
mm-hmm,
hurt and he wanted to stay there and fight. And they had that
mm-hmm,
little moment where they like looked at each other and he ran off to do his duty, which I thought was nice.
yeah,
So I don't know that I
but
needed them to be like, I love you too," and then he runs off, because I feel like the look kind of did it for me. I was like, ah, that was their moment, because she realizes
true.
that he didn't want to leave her, and he realizes that she wants him to trust her, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, I don't think they should be out here, open armed, um, you know, fucking the pontificating their love to each other. But I do think that it is very weird to start a dialogue box where you're like, ah, yes, you understand me because you also love Deku, and then interrupt it with like Tsuyu's ass. Uh,
Yeah.
that feels like one of those things you do very early on in your series. At this point, I'd expect because honestly, yeah, the look is enough, but then don't also do this. This
Yeah,
feels like
did
kind of
did Froppy
disingenuous.
really need a full ass panel?
Dude, have you not noticed the way Hori draws her when she's in her hero costume?
I have. I'm asking if it needed to happen.
My, he, Hori draws in mysterious ways and not always using his hands, if you know what I mean.
Oh my
Um,
god. It's just I don't know. Froppy weirds me out. I don't like her.
yeah, her costume's just way too tight and often positioned in ways where I'm like, really, huh? Fascinating.
Yeah, it's one of those
Um,
things where I'm just like, did this need to happen?
yeah, did this need to be here? Like, don't show me fucking girl asses. I'm a real man. I like men. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, I hope this little discussion we've had is enough for people to like stop sending me mean messages every week about how we
It's
don't
not.
think we don't think hard enough about my hero. Oh no, you just don't understand it. Oh, it's like shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
Shut the
It's
fuck up,
it's
honest
never
to
enough.
God. Yeah. Like uh we could make a 1 hour segment on each chapter and people would still complain if we didn't give it like a perfect 10 out of 10.
Oh
But
yeah.
I know for a fact if I made like a 40-minute video on like a random character in My Hero where I said absolute nonsense, like complete shit I invented, it would get so much support from these exact same people as long as it was like positive.
Oh yeah. Well,
Like
because
there's
it's like they don't actually give a shit about looking at it. They just want to like it, and they
yeah,
don't want you to not
exactly.
like it.
Like if I made, I don't know, Toga is a reference to Greek tragedies, and that is, brilliant on part of Hori because he recontextualizes the memento mori of I don't fucking know. Like if I stretched that to 20 minutes and made it a video, I would get so many comments of people being like, "Oh my god, you hit the nail on the head," and it's like I invented this shit. I made this up. Why are you praising me? Because at the end of the day, internet discussions are not about actually learning anything about the work or getting any actual value out of it. It's just about having something to send someone when they're being critical of the thing you like.
Pretty
Like,
much.
oh my god, you think Toga's a bad character? Here, look, this video about how she's actually a Greek tragedy. And also, by the way, this is not discrediting Greek tragedy as a cool way of analyzing shit. I'm just making an example.
Yeah,
I
just a
think
general observation.
Yeah, I think I mean if you want a good example of how you can like connect shit to Greek tragedy, AJ Alexander has like his Fate videos. Those are really good. But back to the point, um, it doesn't fucking matter what we say about MHA because the reactions will always be the same. So yeah, maybe next week I will put it in special little baby tier.
Special ooh baby child tier, because oh yeah, I think that the reaction to the episode this week will be a good barometer because we were pretty positive, other than like why is this here?
Mm-hmm.
Like the content of like the Deku Uraraka stuff, like I kind of liked that. So
Mm-hmm.
if people are still like hissing and screeching, I guess we'll figure it
Well,
out
they're
later.
always
But as for
pissing and
now,
screeching.
Suyu get a looser costume out of 10.
Yeah, Suyu, stop shoving your ass into the camera out of 10.
Next up, Earthchild. This shit's so good. It's
Oh
totally
my
gonna get
god.
canceled. It's a million percent gonna get canceled. I like
Oh
it too
yes.
much.
Oh yes, 100%. Like there's so many like Japanese kids right now who are reading this like, "What the fuck? I'm not a father. I can't relate to this."
Yeah, like I feel like this is aimed at people. This should not be like aimed at teenagers, because
Yeah.
I'm like so invested in this because I'm old, and like,
Mhm.
but I guarantee you that if I was reading this in like high school, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, when are they fighting?
why are you raising a child? Like, I don't care. But this shit's so good.
I am just so glad we have an older protagonist with like adult responsibilities cuz that's genuinely something I miss in media. Just seeing semi-competent adult people taking care of just things you need to worry about when you're old.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, you think about an adult protagonist, and the only one that immediately springs to mind for me is like Goku, which is like he's a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Like,
he's not an
he's
adult.
not an adult.
He's,
Hell, most of the jokes about his character are about how he does not take anything like responsibility seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see a guy, and it's neat too for me because he is like the most useless character in this entire series, but
Mm-hmm.
he's so dedicated to just like doing the right thing by this kid that even this organization of like government elite weirdos is like, God damn it, we're gonna help this fucking idiot, aren't we? Because
Yeah.
he's just that like endearing.
Yeah, no, I really really like it, and I like how it it doesn't give a super easy answer to how to raise this kid. It keeps like investigating. Okay, what is truly best for it? Because when he's like being super stubborn, and he's like, "Oh, I will not like wear bulletproof shit. I will go there and look at him myself and under myself," and they're like, "That's not productive. You're just gonna get yourself killed, and for what?" Like that's not going to reach the kid in the way you want. What will reach you is your continued presence, which means you need to survive, so put on the vest, buddy.
Hmm.
Like it's
And it's
cool
like,
that it keeps cycling back on these things, you know.
yeah, well, because he went into like full idealism mode after they put the little bracer things on, and he was like, I don't want to do that anymore. And then he was just like, I'm just gonna let you do what you want, and we're just gonna be happy. And he was getting his shit bodied by that child.
Hmm.
And then it was nice. So they all came in, and they were like, you need to start being realistic, because as sweet as it is that you want to just like let him do whatever, he's a baby, and he has absolutely no sense of like the limitations of the human body and what
Hmm.
he's gonna do to you if he's
Hmm.
just fucking
Exactly.
around. It was nice. And then they had that sweet little moment at the end where he was wore himself out and they were ready to go home, and I was like, oh, this is fucking adorable.
Yeah, that entire like speech he has in the car about how uh driving home from a trip after a fun day, blurring the lines of fantasy and reality. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is definitely gonna get canceled because this
Hmm.
is way too. This
There's
is like,
not enough punching going on.
yeah, this is way too introspective on like childhood and the collapse of your own little fantasy world versus like the adult world.
Hmm.
It's just way, but that's what makes it good. And
Right, yeah,
honestly,
it's
this
it's it's a great story in the wrong venue, I feel like.
yes, but honestly, I don't think I will be too sad if it gets canceled because I'm already getting so much out of this. So if this only lasts for another 10 chapters, I'll probably still be satisfied. Like, because you know that if this series gets canceled, the author is essentially just going to find an excuse to get the woman
Yeah, they're
down.
just gonna save the mom quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I'm fine with because what I'm invested in is very small character stuff. Um, so I don't necessarily even care about like the grander plot of anything. And I think that's why Earthchild keeps like popping up in my top three, just because it has this like it almost has plot armor against me being sad that it would like go away.
Yeah, well, it has
Because
like an emotional core that nothing else really does in the magazine right now.
mm-hmm,
Like, because nothing is addressing any of the stuff that it's addressing. Like, you've got Blue Box, which is reasonably emotional, but that's more like, the struggles of love, young love, where this is
mm-hmm,
literally just like, I'm just trying to do right by my son, and
yeah,
I miss my wife, and it's like, God, this is real shit. This is no
yeah.
like, it's a
This
lot
is
of
the
real emotion in a fantasy setting.
this is real. This is real writing. None of that. We gotta save Shigaraki nonsense.
Yeah, they're not
Hori, if
like,
you're
we gotta we
Hori, if
gotta be nice to Shigaraki.
Hori, if you're listening, give Deku a child.
Time
Skip the
skip,
final.
time skip. Uraraka's trapped in space.
Yes,
Deku has a child.
Hori, don't even bother with the final fight. Just next chapter. They fought. Everything was fine. Now Deku is facing the problems of a child that has super strength and anti gravity.
Yeah, somehow he passed one for all to the child accidentally. So like
Yes,
his powers are slowly going away while the child has the real one, and also it has anti-gravity powers.
yes, and he's going to like parenting courses, and they're all bad because they prey on you paying money for consistently needing help. So
I would
give
watch that.
me give me Deku and like some like his like wife, whoever it ends up being, going to like couples pregnancy training, where he's like doing those dumb exercises to like empathize with his wife.
That's All for One's newest get rich scheme. This is just shitty parenting classes.
It's like if your child says it's hungry, it just wants attention. Don't give it to him. It builds character.
Remember that when you graduate from my course, you'll get a minted NFT of your baby.
And the course ends, and he just eats your child and its quirk. He's like, I'm minting it, and he just like throws it into his mouth.
Oh god, but yeah, Earthchild slams out of 10.
Oh, absolutely, absolute slammer out of 10. And as I said, I feel like even if it gets canceled, it will have given me something that nothing else in the magazine is giving me. And so just for that alone, I think it deserves a lot of praise.
Yep, it'll have a
Um,
special place in my heart to be sure, even if it does get blasted, which I am
mhm.
predicting that it will, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like something that will last,
No.
unfortunately. But oh well.
All right. Speaking of something that will last, we're in the victory lap here.
Uh-huh.
Jujutsu Kaisen
Oh boy.
fucking
I
slams, dude.
I
Masterclass.
I cannot believe that after so much like pseudo secrecy about Yuta's actual like the way his powers now work, we finally get an explanation and it like totally lives up to all our like
All the hype.
expectations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking sick. Her
Yeah, so
little
he
like,
can
hey, here's a million weapons. What you want? It's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's like his base ability is to just copy other people's abilities, and Rika essentially serves as like a hard drive for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because well, like Rika herself, it almost like gives him a second technique that he
Mm-hmm.
uses through the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it's so fucking slamming.
But yeah, no, it's so good. And now, like, Jesus, there's like no limit to what he can do. Like he is he more powerful than Gojo? Because like his arsenal is essentially unlimited.
I mean, if he could copy Gojo's abilities, he would be. But Gojo's abilities are so like hacks broken that like you really can't be.
Well, also
The
you can
the
only
only
use
guy that can be is ironically the guy who operates on Looney Tunes rules.
I can't fucking believe it.
If he thought it would be really funny if he beat Gojo, Gojo would lose.
That's actually the funniest thing. I can't believe that throughout this in the last 2 weeks we have developed the thesis that Looney Tunes logic is always superior to manga logic, and now we have proof.
We have living proof of the
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny ass character that's in this shit.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, I suppose one limitation is that Yuta can only like copy one ability. He can only use one copied ability at a time, right? Like he can't like combine them. Or can
Well, we
he?
don't know that for sure, but it sure seems that way because after he uses Inumaki's ability, he doesn't have it on his face anymore when he's using
Mhm.
Druves.
Yeah.
We also don't know what the specifics are for him copying it.
Exactly. We don't know the conditions. So
Right.
I suppose he couldn't really get to Gojo's like he couldn't really copy Gojo's abilities because Gojo's abilities kind of rely on him using two curse techniques at the same time, right? Like the Six Eyes and the Limitless.
Right. And plus,
Um,
like, Limitless took a lot of training even for him with that. Because, I
yeah,
mean, back in Hidden Inventory, he wasn't nearly as strong as he is now.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but Yuta
So,
is certainly much stronger than Gojo was back then. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
like Yuta's absolutely rocking everybody's shit. Um, and so can we agree that triple domain expansion is the craziest shit that has happened in this series so far?
Easily. I don't actually know how it's going to work out because, like, the rules of how domain expansion works should suggest that one of theirs just wins.
And
But,
takes over the others.
right, and overlaps the other ones. But, like, what if they're roughly equal in power? Like, do they just collide? What
Well,
happens? There's like,
well, there is
there's so many questions.
there's that one line like right from when we first get the info dump of domain expansions where Gojo says that besides power, specific compatibility can also factor in.
Well,
Like
also
if it
remember that when they were fighting in Shibuya, Megami was able to open his inside of Squid face.
Dagons, yeah.
Dagons, yeah, inside of Dagons, and that like negated some aspects of it. Like it took away its guaranteed hit ability, but left
Mhm.
the actual like technique amplification.
Yeah. Well, I think that was because wasn't it because Megumi's domain is technically incomplete? And that allowed it to like create that bubble inside of it because he wasn't technically creating a new barrier.
Maybe, but
And
I mean, does that mean that Sukuna could just open his domain inside of anyone else's? Because Sukuna's has no barrier.
I mean, would that be so surprising with Sukuna and how powerful he is?
No, but like, let's say, for theoretically, if it was Sukuna versus like Yuta or Gojo, who could theoretically be stronger than him,
Mm-hmm.
would his domain be able to open without overwriting theirs?
Probably because I think isn't the clash of a domain determined by like the barrier and the existence of the barrier space. So if you have no barrier, that clash doesn't happen, and you just kind of coexist. That's sort of what I would have expected based on what we know. Um, of course, I think one thing that's going to make this specific domain clash interesting is Yuta's technique is copy. So what if he just like his domain like absorbs attributes from their domains and overrides them that way by essentially just becoming a better version of their domains?
That would be cool.
Yeah, because like a domain expansion is just like a space filled with your technique. So what does a space filled with the copy technique look like?
I mean,
That's
there's
the
a lot of things it could be like because copy is pretty open to interpretation.
also
Like,
true.
I mean, what if his domain opens up and every time you try to attack him, just the same exact attack just auto goes off at you?
Yeah, but I mean that would be then a very defensive domain by comparison.
I feel like Yuta does fight pretty defensively though,
Fair enough. I mean, he also seems very confident there in that final spread.
because he's the only one not
Like,
screaming.
yeah, he must have like some absolute gonzo
What
shit.
if his domain isn't copy? It's just Rika, and it's just like there's 5 Rikas now, just shit stomping everything and around it.
Like his domain expansion is that he does makes like Rika shadow clones and they just keep like beating the crap out of you in an infinite.
Or it just makes the one Rika he has like Godzilla size. She's just fucking huge now.
No, it's like his domain expansion is that anyone who enters his domain immediately finds themselves like getting the shit kicked out of them by like 5 Rikas at once. Like that clip of Green Lantern on the floor.
It's just the part 5 JoJo clip where they're all kicking that one dude, but it's just Rika's.
Actually, you know what? That might be the punk guy's domain now that I think about it. Like a biker gang, like
I mean, what even
hideout
would
or
his
bar.
domain be? Because his curse technique is I shoot a cannon out of my hair.
His his domain is just a firing squad.
It's just a bunch of cannon turrets, but they're pompadours instead of actual cannons.
Just a bunch of like statues of him, and the pompadour is like a cannon. Dear God, what's her domain? A
Uh,
bikini shop?
I guess I fuck with the sky even harder now.
Yeah, her domain is just like the endless blue sky, and it's all like a surface I can influence.
I also like how she keeps giving this lecture about like, oh, your clan hates me, and Yuti's like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. I have no fucking
Yeah,
clue what you're talking about.
I did not listen enough in history class to figure out what you're saying. Um, but yeah, what a fucking goat! Holy shit!
Yeah, Yuta's the fucking oh, dude, he's so fucking cool.
Yeah, Gege was just like, oh yeah, Yuta's movie is out in theaters. I should do something cool, and then just decided to drop some of the best chapters in the series.
Yeah, although have you seen the panel like examinations of when Kenjaku was walking the girl from the first chapter out? That suggests that he's like right next to where Yuta is right now.
Oh yeah, because one of the Shikigami was like one of Drew's moles.
Mm-hmm.
So you think Kenjaku is gonna come over and like nab Rika?
Maybe I don't know that he can anymore because she's technically a cursed technique now.
Exactly.
Is what
She's
it
not
says.
a spirit anymore.
She's not a standalone spirit anymore. But I do worry that Yuta's gonna be like, I'm fucked all to hell, but I'm gonna fight you because you're right here, and then he's gonna get his shit tossed.
Mm-hmm. It would be very gege to have him have like this glory lap only to get absolutely fucked afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Very
be very sort
Akatami
of
style.
Gojo Massic. Yeah. Um Kenjaku is just like, I'm stealing your hard drive full of techniques. I'm confiscating it.
Piracy wins.
Yeah. You got No Way Home on there. Uh, yeah, me and the girl wanted to watch No Way Home, but like it was funny. A month ago, she said, "Oh yeah, as soon as it's out digitally, let's pause Naruto to watch it." This week, it's out digitally. I was like, "Hey, babe, you want to watch?" And she's like, "No, I want to finish Naruto. I'm invested."
Spider-Man ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, and it's not as good as Naruto, so
No, it's
who
not.
cares? Who cares? God, I'm such a whore. I've switched up so badly on Naruto. Naruto, like my phase with Naruto was basically when I was a child, I was like, this is the best shit ever. And then I grew bitter and old, and I was like, it's not that good. And now I'm back at this is the best shit ever.
Yeah, that's the cycle, right? Is that like as a young child you love shit a lot. Then you hit like
Hmm.
high school age and you're like that shit I liked as a kid is whack. And then you get to
Hmm.
like your 20s and you're like that shit I liked as a kid slams.
Yeah.
Every time.
Uh, dude, it's been a trip. I'm so fucking relieved though that I'm finally done with Fusion Cut. That was such a that
Yeah,
was such a
that's
long.
an insane undertaking.
Hey, well, now I can say I've done it. And I just have it lying around on my Rika drive here on my PC. And I'm not selling it to Masashi Kishimoto. I'll just keep like suspiciously posting the link on Twitter and then deleting. That's the play.
That's definitely the play.
Mhm. Um, but okay, do we have anything else to say on Jutsu?
I don't think so. I think
Yeah,
that's it for me for this week.
Rawness and swag.
Rawness and Swag incarnate. I'm dying for next
Yeah.
chapter. Um, all right. Any news? We are gonna put the March poll up probably tonight. Maybe not tonight because I'm going to see Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. But if I don't put it up tonight, it'll go up tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
Um, other than that, I don't think so. Anything you can think of news wise?
No, nothing that I know of. Yeah, I mean, we're all just waiting for like info on Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 now. Uh,
2023 sometime. That's all we know, unfortunately.
yeah. Uh, My Hero season 6 had like a key visual out, which no one cares about because, dear God, My Hero's tenure lately has been very strained.
Yeah.
Well, especially anime, but that's a separate
Yeah,
topic.
anime worse than normal. If you haven't read it for whatever reason and you want to read Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, they made it free for the week to celebrate the movie coming out. So if you have the Shonen Jump app, jump in there and you can read chapters 0.1 to 0.4 right now.
Mhm.
Normally they're locked behind the subscription. So if you don't, you should just subscribe really because it's $2 a month. But
Yeah,
if you
I
don't want
mean,
to subscribe and you haven't read Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, the 5 of you that this qualifies for, you can now go and read it.
yeah, I mean, I guess this is the point where we shill for the subscription because it is genuinely a great
It
service.
is, yeah. I mean, it's fucking. The only complaint I have about it is that there's not more manga on it yet, which they're slowly building out over time.
Yeah, and I do find the like chapter limit that they have daily for even for subscribed members, I find that's kind of like counterintuitive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love that, but at the same time, like, I could read all day sometimes and not hit the limit. Like, I have to really
Mhm.
be into something to want to hit the limit. Because, like, I was reading One Piece and I couldn't even hit it when I tried.
Well,
So,
okay. Well, okay. How into were you One Piece?
well, not zero.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I've hit it before. Like, I was doing my reread of The Prince of Tennis and I hit it every single day.
Mhm.
And it does kind of suck, but at the same time, like, it's 100 chapters a day. So that's what, like, 3,000 chapters a month.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like one of those incredibly arbitrary limitations.
I assume it's on there purely because there, like, unless you read every single series on here, there's not that much, and they don't
Hmm.
want you to like blitz everything in the catalog in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, they don't want you to like read everything you want immediately
They want
and
you to
then
sub
just
for more than 1
unsubscribe.
month, basically. That's why.
Yeah, which like I mean, I don't love that, but I kind of understand it, I
I
guess. And
mean,
it
I
is
still totally just read it all anyway. Like,
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, with that or not, it's still the best manga reading service we've ever gotten.
oh yeah, by
So,
far. And I always like because you can see in the latest free chapters section they when they start adding new things, like they started adding Dragon Quest, which is
mhm,
cool. The Adventure of Dai, which is like
mhm,
a nice old manga that a lot of people have complained about not being easily locatable with good quality
mhm,
stuff. So they're gonna start
mhm.
adding that. I don't know when they're ever gonna fill the backlog on some of this stuff. Cause they used to be an issue with Jujutsu Kaisen where the backlog was like, oh, you get to chapter 9, and then the next chapter you can read is chapter 50.
Yeah, yeah, like
And
the
it got
entire
popular and they fixed that, but they haven't fixed it for some things yet. And it looks like they're not going to because it's been that way for months now.
mhm. Yeah, what is it? Twin Star Exorcists has like some shit missing.
No, it's that Kubo thing that we had to read that time.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that goes from chapter 6 to chapter 79.
Okay.
So you have to pirate the vast majority of the series if you want to read it, because it's not just that like it's locked; it's that you can't. It's not even on here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
which that I find very weird, but honestly, it's just bizarre how the English side of Shonen Jump and Viz Media treat some of the like older series. Cause like some just genuinely need like not retranslations but re-edits.
yes,
Uh
desperately badly.
yeah. Or also just rescans. Which, you know, Japan gets fairly frequently. But we in the West has Wiz retranslated anything ever?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'm not the person to ask about that. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not too in the know about that. Another thing that's weird about the app, not that I want to make this a complaint session because the app is great. They just like stopped doing part 5 and they're just uploading part 6 weekly now.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where, like, again, it's decision by stats. Like, oh, part 6 is currently popular, let's do that instead. And then the part 5 chapters essentially serve as like a teaser for what you get if you buy the physical volumes.
I can
Which,
see that.
again, I feel like that kind of is counterintuitive to what this app is. But if you only use this app to keep up with it, with the chapters weekly, I mean, literally no better alternative. Like, it's free if you use it
Yeah,
like that.
if you read the weekly release, then you can just read it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And personally, I like having the ability to go back to any chapter that I want at any time and read it. So,
Yeah, and know that it's an official quality. Like
hmm
that's definitely no, but for example, one series I think definitely needs a re-edit is Naruto actually. Like the English Naruto manga, like with respect to anyone who worked on it, but it really needs updating. Uh Translation is not really something I know about all that much, so that's neither here nor there, but the lettering is like genuinely something they need to like look at it again. And I think Yu-Gi-Oh has the same issue, right? With like
yes,
wacky text
Yu-Gi-Oh!
boxes.
Like it gets better the later in the series, but especially like early Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just funky. It just looks funky.
Yeah. Yeah, like Wiz at like around like 2000 seemed to have like a weird knack for way too huge like fonts
Yes.
and like
There's a
having stuff
lot where
really
it's like
close.
just I can't even really describe what it looks like. It's just like cluttered and massive and like all up in the way of what you're trying to read. It's very weird.
Yeah, like just giant
You get a lot of like
balls of
weird
text.
text breaks between the boxes where like half a word is in one box and the next half of the box is like the other half of the word. It's really like it just looks sloppy. It looks kind of funky.
Yeah. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh and Naruto are probably the worst offenders when it comes to that.
I'm sure old Dragon Ball probably doesn't look very good either.
Well, I don't know cuz old Dragon Ball hasn't that actually been like re-released multiple times? I thought I heard
I'm
that
sure if
or
anything has, it's been Dragon Ball.
well, yes. I mean, you know, Dragon Ball fans are many things, but if there's one thing that they do well is that they scrutinize new releases, especially sort of the anime, very very accurately.
That's true. I remember having a physical Dragon Ball volume. I think I still have it somewhere.
Hmm.
The volume 1 of Z, like when Raditz first lands, and it's pretty tough to get through.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it's just funky and like I believe they ended up redoing how they did Piccolo's dialogue because I feel like I read Dragon Ball Z on here and Piccolo didn't
Mhm.
talk that way.
Okay.
But in the volume I have, he talks like ye olde English,
Mhm.
and I'm like, well, why the
Okay.
fuck? Yeah, okay, so I'm looking through it now on the app, and like he doesn't really talk that way. He just kind of talks normal.
So he
Um,
used to talk like Middle English.
yeah, he used to talk like not as bad as like he wasn't Hamlet, but it was very awkward to read because no one else talked that way,
Okay.
and he was very like
He
ye olde power levels.
so he like talked the way like Dark Souls characters talk.
Yes, I would have to find it and take some pictures and show you, but he talked very weirdly, and he does
Okay.
not. I'm reading it this, so they must have re-edited the way that like they convey his dialogue.
All right. Well, I will take your word for it
Okay,
because I like you.
all right, fair enough. And then with that, I guess we'll say goodbye.
Yeah. See you around, fellas.
We
Have a
will
nice
see
week.
you next week. Keep an eye out for that poll sometime tonight or tomorrow. Depends on how tired I will be after I get home from the movies.
Yeah, have fun at the movie, my guy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right,
Good.
everybody. Goodbye. Again.
Bye.